son. You gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. We'll forever shine just to stay alive. That simple means it. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can turn me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a lamp. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a lamp. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Not when you're old. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, I when you're old. Everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter. I just God. And I'm a kind of fella. Put my trust in God. Put my trust in God. That simple means it. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can turn me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Yo, just show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a lamp. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a lamp. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are.
Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-3823.
Yeah! You gotta be firm in this time, son.
Yes.
Firm in this time, son. I'm a survivor.
Ridealong, welcome to the ride. Welcome to Monday. Happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday on the ride. Let me just link up to our radio station link here in New York, 107.9 J1 FM. Yeah, make that link. Yes.
Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength.
How you guys doing today? What's up? Leslie J, welcome back. You were in Facebook jail for a little while there, so you're back. Cynthia, how you doing? Welcome. How was your weekend, guys? How was your weekend? Lindy, the folks on YouTube, Jennifer Lewis, thank you so much. How you doing? Yes, guys. Yeah, Roses, big up yourself. Guys, today, let me first say that we did advertise to have a show on today involving a young man that was raped by 5 men, right? I just want to say that this program was pushed back for, I believe it's going to be tomorrow. So we have to switch up programming a little bit. But today we have a very interesting program I want you guys to participate in, right? In case you've not been paying attention, Dickon Mitchell is the newly elected leader of the NDC, National Democratic Congress in Grenada. Now, a lot of people were saying, well, who is this Dickon? In fact, some people didn't know who Dickon is at all. They'd never seen him before. They just heard that he is now elected. So people are asking the question, was this guy vetted? Like he could possibly be Dickon Mitchell. Based on the position that he holds right now, Dickon Mitchell could quite possibly become the next Prime Minister of Grenada, Carrick, Petite Martinique. Yeah. In the upcoming general election. Quite possibly. So it's important that we get to know who the person is, right? Now, full disclosure, we did put a word out to the PRO, the new administration of the NDC, and we spoke to the PRO, Mr. Romain, to have, when we have access to talk to Dickon. He had explained to us that he was not available today or tomorrow, most likely Wednesday, Thursday, we'll get a chance to bring Dickon on the program, and we will talk to him, and you guys will be able to ask him questions, call in, and all that stuff. But today, today,
Yeah.
today, we have
Be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong in this time, son.
two of my good friends that will give their perspective and their point of view on Dickon. And this person, one of my good friend, you know her very well. She's no stranger to the ride. She's right there, Cassandra Mitchell. She's right there. And of course, Cam Jones, who will be connecting with us very, very shortly. All right. Also, guys, I want you to be a part of this conversation. Hey, Laloba, how you doing? I'm gonna put the number up because let me tell you, this is full vetting. This is full vetting. This is full vetting. So I'm putting the number up there so you guys could participate, call in at any time, and express. Tell us how you feel about the individual and what you know about the individual. So Dickon Mitchell. All right. So guys, I want to give you a quick look at so I could pull that up. The speech, the victory speech yesterday. Take a quick look at the Dickon victory speech yesterday, and we'll come back and speak to our panelists. Check this out.
All you super delegates, because you are superb and you have made a super decision today, the 31st of October, 2021. You have made a decision for and about the future of the National Democratic Congress. You have chosen unity over disunity. You have chosen resilience, flexibility, inclusiveness, and strength over infighting, weakness, vacillation, or wish-washiness. You have chosen boldness and courage over timidity and the same old, same old. You have chosen positive change and transformation over stagnation and failure. You have sent a clear and resounding message to the tri-island state of PT Martinique, Carriacou, and Grenada. And for my friends in PT Martinique and Carriacou, I hope you note the order of the islands, that the National Democratic Congress is once more on the path of inspiring hope and belief in our people and in our nation. That the National Democratic Congress is once more on the path of beginning the process of creating a sustainable and brighter future for our young, vibrant, creative, and innovative population.
All right. So that was the excerpt from the victory speech yesterday with Dickon Mitchell. So let's get into it, guys. Cam Jones is going to join us shortly. He's just working out his device, and he'll be on the program in about 2 minutes or so. So let's start with Cassandra. Cassandra, welcome to the ride. How you doing?
Hi, Junior. It's been a while. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm gonna start right. I mean, we ain't cutting to we ain't beating around the bush. We're going straight for the jugular. Tell us about Dickon Mitchell. Who is Dickon Mitchell? From your recollection, from you seeing, being, knowing the person, who is Dickon Mitchell?
Well, like many young Grenadians, I only know Dickon to be an attorney, a young person. But first of all, before I even delve into that, let me take the opportunity to congratulate the newly elected executive of the NDC. Especially young people. I've always been an advocate for young people's involvement in our political arena. So let me first put out that disclaimer that I have absolutely no issue with young people getting involved. I've always advocated that with getting involved in politics, though, that there must be a merger of youthfulness and experience. That is my personal stance when it comes to politics in Grenada. Because I'm been involved in advocacy for a number of years, I know Dickon to be a young, successful attorney, young person that, and I'm sure for many of us, he appeals to the young people of Grenada. But outside of that, I know nothing else about him. Yesterday I was asking questions. Is he married? Does he have kids? We don't know that sort of information about him. And unfortunately, I think one of the shortfalls of the NDC is that they did not promote um, Deacon enough to the young people. I think they only went on the premise that he is young, and because for years we have been asking for more youthful faces in the political arena, that was the only thing that they sold Deacon as a young person. So just vote for him, or maybe in their minds, and I'm leaving room for discussion here, that their only responsibility was to sell him to their delegation and not to the people of Grenada as yet. But for me personally, I was a bit disappointed that is known about who Dickon Mitchell is, outside of the fact that he's a lawyer, an attorney at law.
Yeah, I again, I, I'm weighing heavily on yourself and Kim to give me that information, because the first time I learned of Deacon Mitchell is, I think, when I think Kim was doing a program and Kim mentioned him. I've never seen him before. I've never heard about him before. I never spoken to him before until last week when we was making arrangement to come on the program. So I know absolutely nothing. I believe they said that he's 44 years old and a lawyer, right? Now, as far as law, we heard that he was somehow involved in the negotiation with the Grenlec and the government. What role did he play? What do you know about that?
Well, again, when you're an attorney, there's always possibility for you to represent clients. I know that his background in law is more representing the corporate clients of Grenada. We are hearing stories about him representing SGU and Grenlec and some other companies. I've seen their names thrown around in the public. But then again, that information seems to be held tightly in the course of the chest of the NDC executive. So many of us are still very curious as to who Dickon Mitchell really is, and what is he bringing to the table, especially in the political arena. And for me as an advocate junior, one of the things that bothers me is that the upcoming elections is more than just on sitting Prime Minister Mitchell, which is the narrative that's been thrown out there. We are in a pandemic. We are in a situation where our economy is seemingly failing. And no, I don't know who Deacon is. I don't know what he brings to the social aspect, the politically economic aspects of Grenada. As an advocate, I've never seen him. I heard him publicly speak on issues affecting the Grenadian population, especially young people, because they are trying to sell him to the young people. I've never heard him being vocal on issues. So who is he? What does he stand for? And unfortunately, I mean, I'm young, I'm part of civil society, but in speaking with my colleagues, what I'm learning is that Dickon Mitchell many times have been on the opposite side of the fence when it comes to advocacy and speaking about issues that affect the Grenadian population for years. So the advocates and the civil society actors who walked before me are now just saying to me, no, Cassandra, but this guy have sat on the other side of the table. He represents many of the things that we have fought against in Grenada.
Yeah, yeah. As an attorney, we got word that in his representation at SGU, what do you know about that? And as it relates to mandating vaccine, I know that that's been a topic of discussion as well.
Well, yes, we are hearing. I am seeing in the media, people are saying, you know what? He's an attorney. That's his job. And yes, I understand that. But the issue of mandatory vaccination touches more than just the unvaccinated SGU workers. And I'm hearing that he was or he is one of the attorneys. So this whole issue is a national issue. And I was privy to clippings of the meeting that he held with the SGU team and with Tau. And I was rather disappointed in hearing the utterances that he made. First of all, the issue of mandatory vaccine, our local government has not passed any legislation making vaccination mandatory and legal in Grenada. But when I listened to his utterances in that particular meeting, he was saying that what the SGU workers are doing was illegal. How can it be illegal, Mr. Mitchell, when there is no law in Grenada which makes vaccination mandatory? So how can what the unvaccinated SGU workers be doing, their constitutional right to protest, be illegal? And that's one of the questions I'm asking, and not just him, but other individuals who wear the hat and the title of attorney at law. There's no law in Grenada to make vaccination mandatory. So what they're doing is not illegal. And one of the things that bothers me is that he's saying that SGU is taking a route that's going to be inevitable. And now he's sitting in a position where he's now leader of one of our two major political parties. So the question that many of us are asking is, Mr. Mitchell, if you become Prime Minister of Grenada, are you going to make vaccination mandatory? Because you made the utterances that this is an inevitable road and an inevitable step that SGU is taking. And this surpasses SGU workers. This is something that is going to affect all Grenadians.
Right. Okay. So we have Kem. We're joined now by Kem Jones, and he has just jumped on the live. Kem, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Great, great, great. Kem, so we started the conversation a little bit early, but we didn't get that far. We're still trying to understand who is Dickon Mitchell. I mean, we know he is a young attorney. He is now the leader of one of the two major political parties in Grenada, the NDC. But beyond that, I don't know. So probably you can help us and understand who is Dickon Mitchell, and was he properly vetted for that position that he currently holds?
Thank you, Junior, for giving me the opportunity to be on this widely viewed and listened program. I want to say good evening to Cassandra Mitchell also. I want to start off by congratulating Dickon Mitchell, a young, intelligent lawyer, a son of the soil, a Grenadian, who deserves all that he has and what is to come for him. He's a very dedicated servant of the soil. And while a lot of people will hide and talk, he came forward to serve the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And I want to congratulate him on becoming the newly elected leader of the National Democratic Congress, and also the team that was elected with him. I think they will do a wonderful job, and I will do everything in my power to ensure that he becomes Prime Minister here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I want to take off from where Cassandra left before I answer your question, George. You see, it's amazing because here you have a young, intelligent Grenadian who is representing a university very well established, well known for graduating doctors who will serve maybe my daughter someday, or maybe my mother now, throughout the world. St. George's University. They could have gone for some other lawyer somewhere in the United States, or maybe somewhere in the region, because Dickon Mitchell is intelligent. He's a results-based oriented person. He has produced over and over good results. They have confidence in him, and we are proud of him as a Grenadian who will represent such institution. Not only that, here you have a situation where the government of Grenada, who is mandating that the employer ensure that the employees be vaccinated so as to work. Nobody not going after the government of Grenada, Keith Mitchell and the NNP. They are not even going after St. George's University, who is the establishment institution. And let us go even further. They are not going after the union who's supposed to represent these workers, the handful of workers. Some people may say, well, Cam Jones will say handful, well, it's a small amount. And if the union believe that these workers' constitutional rights have been violated, then take the thing to court. Drag the matter before the court and let a judge so decide. Why try to destroy the good name of a Grenadian, a young man with great potential, competent in his field, to say that this man, as a lawyer, should be, ostracized and criticized and attacked and from left, right, and center? Hello. I am saying here, if you believe that St. George's University has done you wrong as an employee and you have a union representing you, all you need to do is have the union take the matter to court. Go and argue the matter before the court. I am pro-choice. I believe that a person has a right to determine what goes into their body. But I am not that damn dumb to to attack Dickon Mitchell, to go after him, his character and his good name, as though he committed some kind of crime in this country. At the end of the day, the question is, did Dickon Mitchell mandate vaccine on all Grenadian people? And the answer is no. Keith Mitchell and his regime is mandating vaccine on our people. Why not focus on the individual who is doing such a thing? Oh, all of a sudden they believe they can come in the public domain and try a case against Dickon Mitchell. I am simply saying Dickon Mitchell is a Grenadian. Dickon Mitchell is a brilliant attorney. Dickon Mitchell is from St. David. In fact, Cassandra lives in St. David. She might correct me and say she moved somewhere else, maybe in Lansapina, Chublu. I doubt it for now. But I am simply saying here that Dickon Mitchell is a brilliant son of a son. Watch me. I'm defending Dickon Mitchell in any space, anywhere, everywhere and anywhere. I am saying if I have a problem, I'm going to the mall tomorrow to buy a lunch. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock. And if they prevent me from sitting where I'm supposed to sit, I'm using the flow. And if they prevent me from doing so, I'm taking them to court. Because if I am so good to patronize, I hope it's not Keith Mitchell trying to prevent me from talking, excuse me. I am saying if I am so good to patronize the mall, I am also good enough to sit where I'm supposed to sit and rest and eat. I am a Grenadian. If I believe that and I know if I go there and patronize, they will be violating my rights. I'm taking them to court, I'm dragging them before the court. So if the workers at SGU believe that they have been wronged by SGU, Andre Lewis, in my view, is a big puppet, a rara. Drag them. What about the CCC workers? The same Chester Humphrey, little poodle in my opinion and belief. He should drag them to court. Chester Humphrey lie down, drag, roll in front of the bureaus. What came up? What became of that? Nothing happened. Nothing happened thereafter. Take the matter to court.
Right.
Don't go after Dickon Mitchell. Dickon Mitchell will become the next prime minister of this country. The NDC, with the team, they're going to win the election. We're going to move into a different direction. Keith Mitchell has been there for donkey old years. It's time for the old man to go and rest, enjoy his money, enjoy his retirement. Enough is enough. Hello, I will defend. I'm ready for them, I'm defending this man in any square, any place, anytime.
Kim, I understand that. But the question still remains when you come back to it, right? Yes, he's in a position to become the next prime minister of Grenada. But what do we know about this man, as Cassandra was saying? I simply don't.
What do you want to know about him? You want to know where he's sleeping? You want to know who man there with? What you want to know about him?
Cassandra was making a point earlier before Kim came on.
But that's a Grenadian Junior.
Yeah, hold on.
Nobody.
Go ahead, Cassandra.
Nobody is denying Kim that Dickon is brilliant and a brilliant attorney. I mean, if you look at his track record, corporate law ain't easy to learn. And if you look at him, he is brilliant. Nobody is denying that. And you are right. I have seen cases where people are ostracizing him in the media. But you and I are here to have a discussion because you are saying, I heard you this morning, that you want to sell Dickon Mitchell as the next prime minister. So that is your job to do. I don't know Dickon outside of the fact that he is an attorney at law. And of course, what I'm learning about his involvement with corporate entities in Grenada. So you have to be careful. And I'm saying this with every ounce of respect that I have for you. When you come to the media, how you're selling Dickon to us, because many of us don't know who he is. The only thing I know about Dickon is that he's brilliant. He started his law firm. He obviously is successful. So your role now on this platform is to tell us who he is and what makes him the right fit for prime minister. I have never heard, just before you came in, I have never heard Dickon express any public utterances about issues affecting Grenada or young people because he is a young man. So you are here to correct me. Tell me what he did. Tell me that
Let me
the
tell you this.
contribution that he has made.
Yes, hear this. I am concerned about the high fuel prices in the country. And Keith Mitchell and the NNP is the reason why I'm paying so much for a gallon of gas. I am concerned about the gallon of diesel that I'm paying pound and crown for. There is an elderly lady who met me in town on Friday. She said, oh God, she voted for Keith Mitchell and the NNP. And look, she current jumped from $80 to $180 something, and she balling more than St. George's. I am concerned about that. I am concerned about the bad roads in this country. I am concerned about the high unemployment in the country. I am concerned about the high corruption rates, the high poverty rates. I am concerned about the high price of bread, flour, sugar, rice, garlic, butter. I am concerned about the bread and butter issues, the table issues. Because in other words, it's all about the dollar. I am concerned about the pension and gratuity. I am concerned about these issues. Why people are concerned about Dickon, and Dickon is the best man for Grenada, Caribbean, PT Matic right now. You ever reach the bonbon in the pot? You ever cook and you reach the bonbon? Keith Mitchell is the bonbon in the pot. You can't get nothing worse than that. In other words, I am saying let's embrace this young man. Let us embrace him and let us ensure that he becomes the prime minister of this country with his team to move into a direction. Cassandra, you're a very young person. All your life, all you know is wicked old Keith Mitchell. That's all you know. You know nothing more than that, Keith Mitchell. It's no, and you're a young woman with great prospect ahead. I believe you mean well, and I believe you can contribute meaningfully towards the development of this country. I am saying to you, let us embrace. Look at this young man. Look at Cassandra. Look at this young man. George showing him on the screen. This guy was made to lead. He was created to come in now and bring us to a next path, a next direction. Enough is enough. I'm tired of Keith Mitchell. I'm tired of Keith Mitchell and the NNP. And Dickon Mitchell is the best man right now. You could tell me that Dickon Mitchell go in Asia, Japan. Right now, I can't hear, Junior, Cassandra, sorry for that. I can't hear because I will defend Dickon Mitchell and the new team that the NDC put together until the last. And I'm asking everyone out there, hello, we're not going to go back. We're moving forward. I'm tired of Keith Mitchell on the NNP. Look at my bill. You know what my electricity bill is? Keith Mitchell told every Grenadian, and I played it on my program, once the government take control of Grenlec, we current bill go down. When I saw my current bill today, I nearly fall down. Junior, I may have to ask you to give me a little help. I know you're outside there, the US is more than EC. But the thing high.
Yeah.
I am saying it is not just about the SGU issue.
Right.
Yes, people might be passionate. They might be concerned about vaccine and so on. I ain't vaccinated and nobody enforcing me. Simple like that. I believe I have a choice and I will determine whether I want to or whether I say, well, boy, I ain't going that route. But I would not tell a person who wants to be vaccinated, don't go and get vaccinated. No. That's the person's personal choice. Right. And if a person says, well, they don't believe in it and they're not going that route, that's their choice. But if anybody wrong me, I'm taking it to court. I'm taking the matter to court. Dickon Mitchell is from St. David. And he's a nice young man. He has no dirty linen to wash in public, and he has no skeleton in the closet. He is fresh. He has shown that he believes in this country. You know about the WRB matter? He fought because he believed in the rule of law. If you believe that he has done something wrong, take the matter to court. I ain't trying him in public. I'm not trying Dickon Mitchell in public.
Right.
George, that's my position. Too many young people with great potential come forward and they try them in public and destroy their good name and character. This would not happen with Dickon Mitchell. I defended him down to the last. This guy's an angel sent to deliver the people. He was sent to deliver the people. I have the people of Grenada. I am lost for words.
Right.
This guy's an angel. Let's embrace him. And I want Cassandra, you need to be a part of this team. You need to join this team with Dickon Mitchell and these young people to transform Grenada.
Well, let's jump to the phone line real quickly, and then we jump to Cassandra response. Caller, like, where you calling us from?
Hi, Junior. It's Dwight Sampson, of course, from Montserrat, Grenadian.
Hey, how you doing?
I,
Yeah,
oh yeah, how are you doing?
good.
No, I just wanted to weigh in on the conversation. I know Cassandra, where we worked together in the past, and I think that she is a very good person and has very good intentions. But I want to ask a question to Miss Mitchell. Now, if Dickon Mitchell was a criminal, a rapist, a murderer, any of the sort, wouldn't we as Grenadians already know? I'm living in Montreal. Would I have already known? We would have known. The fact that we don't know anything about this gentleman, as is being purported, is because this gentleman is a decent, honest young man. Now, I remember as a student of the Presentation College, I remember seeing this young man hurrying to court on mornings and stuff like that. I remember one morning I said hello to him, and he said hello to me, and what he said to me, and it stuck with me. He said, make sure and get your education that one day you'll become like me.
Right.
You could become like me. Now, the final point I'll make is make Junior. Now, to St. George's University, the majority of the clientele is who, Grenadians or persons from outside of Grenada. Now, the government of Grenada implemented that if you have to come into our island, you must be vaccinated. So you're saying to the students who are coming back to the university, who are still at the university, so they're paying their tuition and stuff. And that same tuition, I want to believe, is paying the staff. They need to be vaccinated upon coming into the island, not even getting to SU yet. They have to be vaccinated. So now you're saying to my clientele they must be vaccinated. So why can't I say to the employees who I'm employing that you also need to be vaccinated? No, I'm not for mandatory vaccination or not, but I'm simply saying that we have to look at the bigger picture. So if Mr. Mitchell is representing SGU in whatever stint that he is as an attorney, that's a man's job. That's a man's bread and butter. But are you saying that those are his personal views and opinions? None of us know. We never heard from him. So I'm saying, give him a chance. Let's hear from him. Let's hear what his intentions are. Let's hear what his future policy decisions will be. Let's hear what this gentleman is bringing to the table. I am so glad to see a young man is stepping up to the plate and stepping up in a party that a lot of us, let's be honest, a lot of us in Grenada push NDC aside as a failure, as a party that will never win another election. But this young man is saying, hello, no, I am going to come into that party that everybody else think can win an election, that's been defeated twice or 2 times, 15 mil. I'm going to go into that party. I'm going to make a difference. That for me speaks of a young man who has the heart of Grenada, the core of Grenada at his heart. A young man who I believe can make an impact. Good night, Junior.
Thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much for your input, contributor here on the program as well. Cassandra?
I think at the end of the day, the Grenadian public are going to decide who the Prime Minister of Grenada is. We still have a lot of questions. And again, I keep emphasizing that I'm not against youth involvement in politics. It's something that I myself have been advocating for. I am not against Dickon Mitchell in any way. I do not know him personally to have anything personal against him. I'm just a Grenadian asking questions, questions of a young man that Kem Jones is saying to me every day to support. But all I want to know is, and again, I'm speaking for myself, I'm not representing any of the entities that I'm involved with or in. So tell me what I am supporting. And I agree with some of you out there that Dickon has to sell himself and Dickon has to come to the public and say, these are my stance and these are my policies. This is the reason why I got involved with the NDC. And I think for many of us, Kim, as you very well know, the whole issue of mandatory vaccination is what's permeating many discussions right now. And given the fact that Dickon was the SGU lawyer, many are asking, what is your stance now? Now that you're the leader of the NDC, where are you taking this whole discussion of mandatory vaccination? Because he said it, I heard him say it. That the whole issue of mandatory vaccination is inevitable. And one of the things that we have to take into consideration is the fact that yes, him being an attorney is his profession, but at the same time, all attorneys who take the oath, who are part of the Bar Association, has to ensure that they follow the laws of the state of Grenada. It's one of the moral, the code of ethics. So if there is no law in Grenada that says that vaccination is mandatory, under what law is Mr. Mitchell advising the SGU entity, his client? And
Right.
this is a question I'm asking.
Let's jump to the phone line right here. We got a call, and then we're gonna go to Kim response on that. Caller, you live. Where are you calling us from?
Hey, Junior, good evening, and good evening to your guests.
Yes.
Junior, the question the young lady is asking about pertaining to where Dickon Mitchell should answering questions on mandatory vaccine by SGU.
Mm-hmm.
That young lady supposed to ask the Prime Minister of Grenada, why did he make vaccine mandatory in Grenada? You know, she has a right to ask questions, but these people would have the opportunity when the Prime Minister, when the ministers have the conferences, and they don't ask these questions. They always ask these questions when the NDC members are on live. It's like somebody's setting them up to ask these questions.
Right. But caller, let me
When
ask you a
Keith
question. Let me
Mitchell
ask you.
presents, just a minute, Junior. When Keith
Right.
Mitchell presents these ministers to us, do they ever call and ask, well, what is he bringing to the table, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell? Look, there's this guy who's supposed to be running for the Northeast. Nobody hasn't asked the Prime Minister, who is this guy? We never really thought about him. What is he bringing to the table? What is he bringing to the Northeast? Why don't they ask these questions to the Prime Minister? Why don't they do that?
But isn't it a legitimate question to ask? Who is this person? I remember not too long ago, Obama was a very young person that making his rounds in the Democratic Party, and everyone was inquiring. Yeah, he's a good. He speaks well. He presents well. But who is Barack Obama? Turns out that, in my opinion, I think Barack Obama was one of the best. One of the best president that ever passed to the U.S. But there still need to be a question. So it's legitimate that Andrea, myself, and anyone who has that question, not to say that Deacon is a bad person, because I don't know him, but the question of just who is Deacon Mitchell is, I think, is a legitimate question to ask. That's why we're having this discussion here.
That is the reason why I said, Junior, she has a right and other people have a right to ask questions. But Junior, what I said also is that they don't press these questions to the Prime Minister. Ask the Prime Minister also, who are who these persons that you're presenting? Who are they? Where they came from? What did they contribute to Grenada? Huh?
Yeah.
Ask this question. Why have you resorted into making vaccination mandatory? Where are these people? Please ask those questions to the administration.
Those are legitimate questions to ask as well.
Those questions about Dickon Mitchell.
Yeah, that's a legitimate question to ask as well. That's a legitimate question to ask as well. But yeah, go ahead.
Yes, but that is what I'm saying. It is everyone's right to ask these pressing questions.
Yes.
About the incumbent. So the young lady that's on your live, I don't know her name.
Cassandra.
Please, when they Cassandra.
Mm-hmm. Went off. Kem?
Yes, Junior. Junior, if you want to know who is Dickon Mitchell, or if Cassandra wants to know who is Dickon Mitchell, at least you have a number of places to start. He published a bio of himself, and I'm certain Cassandra had the opportunity to peruse or go through that bio, because she's always on social media and she has a right to. I am also knowledgeable of Junior's research capabilities, and you may have read that bio. A publication, a piece of audio was published on the individual, talking about him and his background and his upbringing and so on. You know, for me, I always ask the question, why the standards are different for NNP versus NDC. When NDC put forward someone, they will be grilled, scrutinized, and all kinds of stuff. But when the NNP put forward people, it's just a normal day in the park. It's just normal because the standard is different. Huh? I am saying here, with no apology, you see that election that's coming up there? I will work day and night to ensure that Dickon Mitchell becomes Prime Minister of the country and that the NDC win the election. Cassandra is my good friend, and she will always be, she could ask 100 questions. Sandra Ferguson and all of them, they could ask 1,000,000 questions. They could write all kind of they write. But no one will prevent the ultimate objective from being fulfilled. Getting rid of Keith Mitchell and the NNP and putting this country on a different path where people can be prosperous again, where generational growth and prosperity and wealth can be had again. You know, those people are in a desperate position. Now, I was in St. George's a while ago, and a lady came up to me. She said, Kem Jones, I'm glad. She said she voted for NNP how much times? She said she glad. Dickon is now the leader of the NDC. And she started to explain to me that he taught in Presentations Brothers College and he used to help students. But you see, Dickon is not a guy who's going to come out here and toot his own horn and tell you he helped that person and he helped this one. And no. He does stuff effectively so, quietly so. And I'm not out here speaking on his behalf, because I'm not a representative of Dickon. But I can tell you, I endorse this young man and I will defend him because I believe there are a lot of capable people like him who want to come forward. But the minute time they come forward, the character will be assassinated. People will start to say all kind of things, publish all kind of things about them, and there is no one to stand up for them. Well, Kem Jones is there. I will stand up for this young man. You see, right. Dickon Mitchell, he's capable. He has proven himself in his profession as a corporate lawyer. He's grassroots, he's simple, he's mixy, he's a people's person. The guy is just ordinary, right? I am simply saying, let us give him some time because only yesterday he was elected as the leader of the National Democratic Congress. Let's give him some time. So he will show himself. He will be out there in the media in this space where he will be asked questions. In fact, I saw Hamlet Mack's publication, and you know where Hamlet Mack stands politically. In fact, I interviewed him and he claimed to me that if you want to say he's a mercenary, a political mercenary, that's his business, and whatever. Yeah. I know where Hamlet Mack stands. I read what Linda Straker published. It's as though these people are after this guy to destroy him because Keith Mitchell is really and truly on his way out. Junior, did you listen to Pastor Stanford Simon plea?
Nah, I didn't listen to it. I didn't listen to it yet, but
you need to.
I want to get into that. I want to get into it. In fact, I didn't listen to the whole thing. I want to get into that, Kem. But let me jump on this phone line real quick. We got another call coming in. Caller, you like where you calling us from?
Hello, good night, Junior.
Oh, hold on.
I'm calling from Grenada. Wonderful program as usual. You could hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Well, I just want to commend you on the program, and I also want to send out strong commendations to the sister on the program, Cassandra Mitchell, because, coming up against formidable opponents, the young man is a very popular man, and you have here Mr. Kem Jones on the program, who is a formidable debater, and she as a young lady is sticking in there and asking certain questions that Grenadians want to know. I just want to qualify and say this. I am absolutely excited that our democracy is in full effect right now, and there are some new faces around, young faces, as a matter of fact, brilliant minds, people possibly with passion for change in the country. But questions must be asked, and this is why I want to commend Cassandra. Now, we don't want to jump from the proverbial frying pan into the fire. So we know that the Keith Mitchell administration has had some very, very serious shortcomings and flaws regarding the citizens and workers in particular. But just because of that, are we going to say, well, let us just embrace anybody, let us come in, let them come in because who is there is bad and we want to get rid of them? I am not sure that is the most logical pathway. Now, what I am saying,
So, Junior, the caller is to speak without interruption because the caller is
Yeah.
Because the caller is speaking there as though he's saying what shortcomings. You consider what Keith Mitchell and the NNP has done to this country as shortcomings? Keith Mitchell and the NNP, what they have done, in my belief, is rob and rape this country of every single thing that's supposed to have developed and grow this nation. As in my belief, you call it shortcomings, but a man
So,
right now, Keith Mitchell and the NNP is the bun in the pot, and
complete my
anything better than Keith Mitchell and the NNP.
listening to the program and enjoying it. So yes, whatever word you want to use, you could use atrocities, you could use shortcomings,
No, I
whatever
mean,
word.
I know who I'm speaking to. I know the voice.
This
So I
is
could tell you what I'm telling you there.
this is an this is an unmitigated fact. But with that, I think for a true democratic process to be taken into effect, the people must question who is the alternative and question it genuinely, not out of jealousy, not out of not
But have
wanting
you
to
asked
get my guys,
the
but a
question, caller?
genuine
Why don't you ask the
question.
caller question? Have
Hold
you
on.
asked Keith
Center.
Mitchell
Yeah,
regarding
come,
Grenlec, the
come,
issue of Grenlec? Have
come,
you
come.
asked Keith Mitchell at this point in time? You came out, Keith Mitchell came out and spoke about the issue of Grenlec, and the Grenadian people must trust him and give him all the support. They
Yeah.
took over Grenlec. Now that people are, waiting to experience the low cost of electricity, have you ever questioned Keith Mitchell and asked him, but where is the low electricity cost? Where is oil and gas? Where is all what he has promised to the Grenadian people? Why are you not asking him these questions?
All
Why?
right. Yeah, so let's Junior, just allow me to complete what I have to say. I wouldn't be long, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we know about all the things that Grenadians have to suffer, including the high electricity bills and so forth. And this is true. I personally, as a citizen of this country, have questioned many things this administration has done. But that does not make me be one to just embrace anything or anybody. Like I
But if
said,
you
I'm
call it, Deacon
for
anything or anybody, you have a problem.
Yeah. Cam, hold on a second. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Yeah, but he's talking rubbish. He's speaking
But, no, but
rubbish, Junior.
yeah, but let him finish, and then we just let him have his say. Go ahead, Grimes.
wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So I am happy for democracy and so forth, but there are general citizens who may not know the young man personally and who have genuine questions based on what they are hearing, based on the young man's relationship with corporate Grenada. Will he transfer that in terms of his administration over Grenada, where the corporate world will have domination over labor or workers in general? These are genuine questions, and these are not questions
Go
that
and
are
ask Keith Mitchell that.
hate or anything like that, but it is coming out from a genuine query as to are we moving from to something that is better or a different kind of negative. This is what is happening here. So again, I want to commend Cassandra. I even want to commend Kem Jones on his position because this is what democracy is about.
Yeah, I agree.
But Kem, I want to just give you a little advice respectfully. People who question, do not shoot them down or demonize them. This is just the process. If this man is genuine gold standard, he will emerge at the top. There is no need to defend so feverishly. Let the process take place. That's all I have to say. So thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. On that, I promise. Hold on, Cam. I know you want to come in here, Cam. Cam, I know you want to come in here, but I have a caller on WhatsApp. I promise her that I'll get her on, and then you'll come in. All right, Cam? I know you're scratching, Cam. I know you're scratching to come in. Hold on. Caller, your live. Go right ahead on the WhatsApp.
Hi, Junior. Good night. Good night to your guests, both Cassandra and Kim. Junior, I know you. A lot of people are up in arms about why we need to ask who Dickon is and why we need to know what he's about. Now, if we all agree, or if the majority of persons agree, is that the present administration has done or maybe I don't want to say allegedly in some cases grave injustice against the people and the development of the country, right?
Right.
I want to know why it is so difficult for us to have an appreciation for finding out the position on very key issues, such as the mandatory vaccination, coming from, find that out from the Dickon Mitchell. I know Dickon, and I know him to be a pleasant, good person, right? But at the same time, having brought himself to the public in the way that he has, in terms of saying, listen, I believe that I am, as well as the opposition, is the best alternative for us to go forward. I think it is fair for us to ask these questions. It's not a personal attack on him as a person. And so I support Cassandra, whom I know very well as well. I support her questions. I do not believe that she's coming from a place of malice, but when I listen to her on various platforms and programs in the past on various issues, she has always been able to ask very sensible and salient questions. No, I am an avid follower of Kim Jones' both programs, and I'm also a contributor to the program, right? And so I understand Kim's passion for wanting the change in Grenada and for his level of advocacy. However, this is the one time I'm going to kind of depart from it, in that you cannot ask a people to just hook, line, and sinker accept because we know him, some of us who do, as a good person. Politics is not just because he's a good person, she's a good person. The question is, you are here to represent the people, and as such, the people we need to know what you are here to offer, some of the ills that prevail society, how you're going to address them. So I think also we need to give Dickon a chance to come out when he is ready, when he is comfortable, and let the public know what he's going to propose, what he sees in terms of going forward and for the betterment and development of the country. I mean, I don't expect your panelists to agree with everything that I say, but I do expect your panelists, both of them, to have a certain level of respect for various and differing opinions without coming across as being hostile, dismissive, and arrogant. Junior, blessed night to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, caller. Kem, I give you a whack at it, and then I have to jump to another call. Kem, go right ahead.
Yeah, well, Miss, I don't know you to be a contributor of my program. So, I know the voice and I know the individual. Sorry, so that I want to dismiss that up front. Secondly, to Brian Grimes, look, at the end of the day, Keith Mitchell has been there for 36 years, Prime Minister for 20-something years.
Yeah.
And you're going to retire without pension and without gratuity, thanks to the Keith Mitchell-led administration. But I want to make a very important point further. The NNP administration passed a law to ensure that the politicians get a big fat pension upon retirement, meaning 8 years of service in the parliament at age 55, a big fat gratuity after 4 years of service. Deal with that. In other words, if you all want to continue to stay and get your licks, there was once on my program, I went and I cut a big piece of wood, and I call it Keith Mitchell. I said, beat them, put lash on their back, because there are some people, you see the man dragging the woman, lashing she tail, left, right, and center. Woman, leave the man go kill you. The relationship is not healthy for you. But yet, for all you staying in the relationship, so if you want to stay, you stay. Stay in the relationship. So what? At the end of the day, I am very clear. I am for change. You don't have to like my gesticulation. You don't have to like my tonation. You don't have to like my whatever. At the end of the day, I know when I see bad or evil or wicked, I could call it out.
Right.
This regime has reached to the point where Grenadians need to move to the next level. So, look, if you want to give Dickon all kind of blows, because based on what I'm gathering here, this is not just a legitimate questions that they're asking.
Mm-hmm.
They're targeting this individual as they did with Nazim Buck. It is
right.
the same level of stupidity, in my view,
right,
that is being directed at a particular direction here in Grenada. Anytime it comes to somebody in the NDC or some leader, everybody have the biggest, how much questions, how much they want to scrutinize, they have this and hello, go and ask Keith Mitchell the same thing on the NNP.
Well, we have a caller, but Kim, someone asked a question there, and I know Cassandra have something to say as well. Someone asked the question, what's Dickon's position on pension? That's legitimate. I'm sure we got to run that on pension.
Junior, I think we put the cart before the horse.
Yeah, I know.
I think the right approach should be to invite. Did you invite? I mean, me and you good. I want to believe that you may have invited him.
Yes.
You invite
he will be on the program by Wednesday.
All right, so you're going to be on.
Yes.
Right, but I mean, if I knew that, I would not have come on the program. I want to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I believe, if you had told me that, Junior, to be real with you, I believe that Deacon need the opportunity to be out there, to speak about his policies, his intentions, and so on, before all this. Because I'm telling you, I cannot be this kind of arbiter to be, independent and so on. I have a side.
Yeah.
I
No.
will defend Dickon Mitchell, cost it what it may.
Right.
And I'm saying that without no apology, because I have seen what these people have done to Nazim Buck, destroy his good name and character. And the person who did the most amount of damage to his good name and character is still standing. So I am saying I'm not going to go down that road again. Some people may say, well, Kemtos, you're arrogant. Kemtos, you're this. At this point in time, I am only concerned about my beautiful country and getting rid of Keith Mitchell and the NNP, because I believe the biggest problem in this country, for this country to move forward, is Keith Mitchell and the NNP. And that's what I'm concerned about. Give this man a chance, an opportunity Wednesday, with all the different things we're asking him. Let us, Junior, I beg of you, just give him the opportunity Wednesday. Let him speak, let him explain himself. Then we out here, because I would defend him until thy kingdom come. Cassandra would ask 100 million questions, and I respect her rights to do so. But I would not see another brilliant Grenadian, a brilliant son of the soil, be destroyed by elements of the NNP and some people who believe that they are so intellectually advanced that they could ask everything and anything and try to destroy the good name, and not only ask, but make assumptions and say certain things. I would not stand for it, not this time wrong.
Okay.
No.
Cassandra, you had a question or a comment?
Well, more like a comment, Junior. First of all, I want to say to your audience that I have questioned every single administration. I only had the opportunity to experience the NDC for so long, but Uncle Tilly, Patrick Simmons, and any one of the ministers who have ever had any encounter with me can tell you that I sat them down and with the same fervor and passion questioned some of their programs, some of their policies. I have questioned the policies of the NMP administration. We have said, my groupings and we have been putting out information in the public, asking one about the legitimacy of the state of emergency, about the management of the state of emergency and the public health pandemic. I've posed questions to the Minister of Health, the CMO, and almost every single individual who comes out and put things out in the public. So it is unfair that some members of the audience are saying, but oh, you don't question Keith Mitchell. I have questioned Peter David. I have questioned my MP, what's his name? Sometimes I even forget, because I don't even see him. So sometimes I even forget his name. So I have questioned my MP. I've met with them. I've questioned the Minister of Education, the Minister of Youth, the Minister of Agriculture. So it is unfair for some of you who don't know me to sit here and infer that the NNP is paying me to have this discussion. As a citizen of Grenada, I have a right to question every leader. Remember the saga with TGM? I have a right to question every individual who are putting themselves up for public office to manage my affairs, my future, and the future of my children and my grandchildren without it being personal. I am not asking Dickon who he slept with or the name of his children or his ex-lover. All I want to know is, what are some of the plans? And yes, the timing may be a bit premature, but one of the things I thought that his team could have done, even if he wasn't doing it, was put out information and say, these are some of the plans of the NDC, of the potential leader. They didn't do it. And it may not be Dickon to blame wholly and solely, because he has a team around him and they may have failed him. And again, that's my personal observation. So I have questions. So it's unfair that people in the audience are saying, well, they're questioning Keith. We are still waiting on a response from our Governor General, who, according to the Constitution, is the head of state, for her inaction in handling the state of emergency. And she gets paid with our taxpayers' money, and she chose not to answer. She doesn't have to, but she chose not to answer. And we continue to see her fail the people that she represents. So it is unfair for people to be saying that that I am here only targeting Dickon Mitchell. Dickon Mitchell is a brilliant young man, obviously successful. But if you are going to be my prime minister, and if or when he is elected prime minister of Grenada, he is not only representing NDC people, he's representing all of us. All of us. So we have a right to question him. And I'm not asking him his personal affairs. I'm asking him about his plans for my country. In 5 or 10 years, our debt to GDP ratio may go up to about 98%. Our government is saying that it's about 70% now. But with all the concessional loans that they're borrowing, in 5 to 10 years, generations of Grenadians are going to be indebted. That is what Dickon is inheriting. So how is he going to handle that? And his team may have failed him. So I'm not putting the blame on him alone. And this is not a personal attack. I have no plans to leave Grenada. I am going to be buried here. I don't know what my children plan to do, but they are going to live here.
Right.
And in a few months, our minister may be changing the TAMCC Act and the Education Act to make vaccine mandatory so that my children may or may not have access to education. How does Dickon Mitchell intend to deal with that? This is far bigger than most of you want to accept. Am I supposed to take a vaccine and just stick it into my children with no question? My government signed an indemnity agreement with Big Pharma, with the COVAX facility. So if something happens to me or my children, no one is responsible. How is Dickon going to handle that? These are the genuine concerns that we have. And most of us asking questions were once or are supporters of the NDC.
Right. Point taken there. Hold on, Kem, hold on before you come on there. Let me just jump to the phone, and that caller been on for a long time from Grenada. Caller, go right ahead.
Good night.
Good night, caller.
I'm calling from Grenada. You know, I have 2 comments. First of all, I want to find out which one of our children have ever entered school without certain vaccination. I am not pro-vaccine or against vaccine, but as far as I can remember, vaccines have been a mandatory part of our livelihood, whether it's due to travel in the U.S. and Grenada. Right. My child had to be vaccinated with a certain amount of vaccines by the time he or she was ready for school. And those vaccines are somewhat similar to the COVID vaccine. It's a new era, it's something new, and I believe that one of the things that are having a lot of people thinking is because it's a new thing. But it has always been a point where vaccine was somewhat mandatory for. Because if you wanted to travel to certain parts of the world and you did not have a vaccine, you could not go. So that is one point I want to find out if there's anyone who has ever been able to send their child to school before without having certain mandatory vaccines.
Yeah.
Secondly, concerning Deacon's scenario, I think by waiting, I heard Kim address the point I was going to say. I believe this is a kind of like a cart before the horse. The first person to come and be interrogated about his plans and his position and to tell you accurately who he is, what he stands for, what are his projections for Grenada should have been Dickon Mitchell. So I would believe that it's okay to have all the anxieties and the questions, but they should be directed to the right person. Cam Jones may be someone who is pushing this young man, but all accurate information is supposed to come from this young man. Yep. So he has just been elected and at a party level. And so now it is his time to gather himself now that he has that mantle and decide what he wants to do, how he's going to do it, and what are his plans. Then he should be presented to the nation, whether by the NDC, to present his plans for the future sailing of the ship. Have a pleasant night.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me just retract on something that I said earlier, Kim. I think I misspoke. I spoke to the executive of the NDC, and they did not give me a definite confirmation for Wednesday. In fact, we were trying to get Dickon on the program last week. On the day of, there was a meeting, so he was unable to make it here. So I am not in programming. We are not confirmed, or we're not putting out a confirmation that he will be on the program. They did, however, told me that they will make him accessible to us sometime this week, but that's not a confirmation on Wednesday, Tuesday, or Thursday. All right. So let me just say that I probably have misspoke about it, but I think it's important that we still feel people's questions on the population, people, the diaspora, on Dickon Mitchell. So I think it's very appropriate that we have this conversation at this point in time. Kem, go right ahead. Kem, your audio is off for some reason. I'm not hearing you, Kem. All right, hold on. Yeah, Kem. I'm not hearing you. Hold on. Every guys watching right along. Yeah, Kem. Yeah. I'm hearing that movement. You just moved.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
no problem.
yeah.
I just want to say to Cassandra, don't be too worried about the comments that you see on the live. I know you're kind of watching and following there. I'm so accustomed to those things. Look, at the end of the day, everybody may not agree with you, but after this conversation, we will still be friends and we still cool. And you're passionate and you have a right to be, but don't follow too much because everybody would not agree with you. And I know I could tell you, a lot of people right now, they if they could come in that screen and give me a cup, they give it me. Some again, if they could give me a nice little hug, they would give me. You know what I mean? So don't worry too much, but just go ahead. Whatever you set yourself, the agenda to speak about, go ahead and do it, no matter what. Back and forth is a little debate, but don't worry about that. All I would say is that, Junior, at the end of it all, I want good for Grenada. And Cassandra wants good for Grenada and all children and everybody else. And I believe you too, Junior, you want good for Grenada. we love this place, yeah? In fact, I don't even have a passport. I lost it a couple of years ago, and I've traveled about 49 places in the world, and I'm kind of okay. Grenada is still my home, and I love this place, right? I am simply saying to our people, Kem Jones will be Kem Jones. I know there are a lot of people out there, Junior, on your live there. Watch me. And I'm watching some of the names and I say, oh God, you cuff me again. Cuff me tomorrow. Cuff me on my program. You know what I mean? But that's what it is. I kind of expect that.
So what I'm saying, you can cough you over there because you're black.
Yeah, well, I mean, really and truly, only about 11 people have blocked, I might be saying a little thing more. Yeah, but 11 people. Well, Peter Mitchell, he could do all kind of thing under your life, but not under mine. Because he kind of under control under my life. It's kind of different. But at the end of the day, I am saying, Grenadians, you have two Mitchells. You have a very good one who is young, intelligent, tried and tested in his field or line of work as a corporate lawyer. He decided to come forward to serve at a higher level. And as Junior indicated, he will have him on the program to answer all the questions you have in the world. And he's a very capable person to answer those questions. I could tell you that. Mm-hmm. And he's real. He's genuine. He's uncut, unfiltered, straight to the point.
Okay, let me ask you a question, right? Not to draw your trend of thought, but let me ask you a question. What is the biggest or strongest point that you would support politically?
Well, you see,
like for instance, like what is it that you want your leader to definitely be? I have a follow-up question to that.
Right, I have always represented the people.
Right.
So when it may not be everybody who have to agree with me.
Right.
But when it comes to the bread and butter issues in this country, I'm very
Hold on. There's a caller that just came in. Let me just mute them. Go ahead, Kim.
When it comes to the situation with cost of living,
right,
you know by now, I am very, very concerned about that.
Right.
The ability to work and buy some basic food items in the supermarkets, in the shops, is extremely high at this point in time. The cost of electricity, extremely high. The cost of water, extremely high. The cost of gasoline, diesel, that's extremely. I'm concerned about these things, these basic things.
So what if?
Hold on 1 minute.
Uh-huh.
Decent paying jobs, sustainable jobs, pension gratuity, corruption that's happening in government, having
Mm-hmm.
one man who has been there for 20 something years and Grenada not moving forward, but just a small clique of people getting rich, right? And then the others have to take this crumb or the little thing that falls from the table. I am concerned about these issues.
Right.
Yes, I have some policy directions that I believe any person who is at the forefront should really take to develop our people. But I am willing to give this young man a chance to state some of his policy directions, consult with Cassandra, consult with civil society, NGOs, CBOs, Grenadians, churches, just name it, business places, and form that framework, that policy to take Grenada forward. I am saying to you again, Junior, we have reached the bun in the pot. And Keith Mitchell, in my belief, is the bun in the pot. You can't get worse than that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
In other words, we got to move to that next level. I have always said that to myself. What they have done to, and I'm repeating it, what they have done to Nazim Book to destroy this brilliant economist, this decent Grenadian, political career and life and everything else, like in terms of the politics, I mean, they have actually destroyed this good guy. And I have vowed, I swear, I take that oath to myself and my God, that I will not allow people to destroy good people again.
Right.
Come forward to serve. Dickon Mitchell is brave to come forward, and a caller said so. Remember, NDC is coming from 1515. He decided he will serve and he will join this organization and change things. And I'm telling you, everywhere I go, it's Dickon Mitchell. Everywhere.
Yeah.
People are excited. People are jubilant. People just want that kind of energy.
Yes.
Kind of individual and more. Not only Dickon, they want more people to step forward like Dickon.
Right.
To really chart the way forward.
I get that feeling, and I understand what's happening and moving on the ground in Grenada. But I ask a question because what if, and that's a big what if, right? Dickon were to get elected in this position that he's in right now, and tomorrow he step on a podium and he spoke out, and he spoke in agreement in increasing the gas prices or taxes and levies on the gas prices. Would you feel like you never asked that question going in on his position on the gas prices? Now, after you advocate for him, you got him in there, then he realized he opposed one of the main strongest strategic point that you represent for. Would you then feel like, damn, I probably should have asked that question to him? How would you feel if that was the case, or that would be the case?
You see, my good friend Junior, we reached to a place now in our history in Grenada where, not because I like mango and you come forward with apples and cherries and you're in a mango on this day, I should then say, well, you're not my friend because you know how to suck mango and you decide you don't bring in mango around. We may not agree on every single thing.
I agree.
In other words, somebody might say, well, Kem Jones, I ain't like Dickon because they ain't like he position as a lawyer for SG. I say, okay. But that person will also say, well, I want gratuity. I want pension. He might be the person pushing that. The person might say, well, I want gas price and the roads to be fixed properly. I want transparency, accountability. I want the price of basic foodstuff to go down. I want to make sure that all the ambassadors are Grenadians, and a number of other things, right? So in other words, we can't agree on every single thing, but I believe that Dickon Mitchell is grounded with the people.
Right.
And based on that, in other words, I want to repeat again, only go find a tired say it. We have reached the bun in the pot. And we can't get what Keith Mitchell is the bun in the pot. We can't get worse than this. In fact, if Cassandra put up herself for any position in to run in a constituency, I go and vote for Cassandra. Because against Keith Mitchell, he's the bun in the pot.
Right.
We have Junior, I mean, the roads here bad, Junior. Junior, the water, the price of water.
Yeah.
In donkey years, the water rate did not increase. The NNP under Keith Mitchell increased the water rate. Don't even talk about the electricity. You can move from that, And we go, the only thing the NNP has to offer to the Grenadian people is some road work to cut bush on the side of the road for 10 days and you get $336 or $436. And that's about it. Mind you, I love the people walking on the road in the bushes because I want better for them. I want them to get more. But that's all. Or you give them little fellas, so a little, what you call it, concrete road, concrete drain, little minor things that are not seriously sustainable to keep these people and their families. I want better for my people. And I'm not seeing it happening under the NNP. Look at in Dominica, for example. I'm certain you're aware. Only recently they got this new, what was some equipment to facilitate something to do with women and the testing for breast cancer and other little things like that. In Grenada, we cannot boast of those things. Basic. And in fact, Dominica is the only island in either the OECD, one of Caribbean island with that kind of technology. I am saying Keith Mitchell has been there so long. He should have done more to help our people. We have a broken healthcare system, a broken education system. We have a lack of access to affordable housing, lack of access to higher education, high unemployment. In fact, the unemployment rate is about between 65 and 70%. You go to rural areas and you will see the poverty rate is about 45%. Poverty in the country. You move from that, you look at high electricity costs, high water rates, high food prices, high gas, everything is just high. In other words, what has Keith Mitchell and the NNP really done to help our people to live? Cassandra was a while ago talking about her children and her family. She's a parent. She wants good for her family, and at least so that they can eat a decent, meal, breakfast, lunch, and supper, and live and thrive and survive in Grenada. But under the NNP, just think about it. You can't have that. You just cannot. You just don't exist. It just would not exist. So I'm saying, I would hope that Dickon, his team, would engage people like a decent young lady like Cassandra with impeccable character. I know Cassandra very well. In fact, I was a part of an initiative that she did. And she believes in people. She believes in community. She believes in people dearly, right? And I hope that he would engage Cassandra and other people like her, like-minded people like her who want good for Grenada, who want good for communities and for families, for women in particular. Because I always believe that once a woman is empowered and they're in a particular position, they would just transform homes and communities. I always say to my friends, if I have a job to give and a woman come and a man come, and the woman and the man is equally qualified, I give it the woman, because the woman tend to think, somewhat, what's about tomorrow? What if my child gets sick? What if the family, But I am saying the engagement, the consultation, and I believe that's the kind of person he is.
Right.
To consult and to listen and engage. He might be different from me, I could be rah-rah sometimes, I could be got a sniper at times, But people kind of get accustomed to the Kem Jones brand. Those are going down in the mud and are dealing with the pigs in the mud. I'm kind of different. You go keep to the highway and he's a decent individual. But I believe you're going to engage people, you're going to listen to people, you're going to reach to that point where you're going to get consensus. Because people want Grenada to move forward. I am certain if you ask Cassandra today, right now on this program, will you take up the offer of engaging and putting your ideas and your suggestions and your opinions and everything like that on the table with Dickon Mitchell and others to really build Grenada and move Grenada forward? And she will tell you yes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's about engaging and it's about consulting and listening to people. Look, he's a good listener. Kem Jones could be a damn stubborn guy at times, So not really listener, just move on.
Yeah, Kem, let me take a call. Hold on a second. Let's jump to the phone line here. Caller, you're live. Where are you calling us from?
Maryland.
Hey, go right ahead, caller.
Yeah, Kim, are you hearing me?
Yeah, he could hear you.
Yeah, okay. So Kim, I must say I admire you. Someone made a recommendation that you should tone down. You choose to do that. I have no problem with that. I was following you all along, but hearing that Dickon, which I think which I know he will be successful for Grenada, representing the institution on the mandatory vaccination. So I think that's a very valid question, my brother, to ask. Okay, now he is representing an institution. Okay, it was not a policy decision, basically, for the country. So there's a difference there. And so I was wondering, like, Kem Jones is not for mandatory vaccination. I heard you very well over the couple of weeks. But then here it is, someone that you believe in that can get things to work is now representing an institution that wants to have mandatory vaccination for its employees. That's two different things. But I do believe that even though he represents that institution for mandatory vaccination, that's what his client wants, and he is representing the client in good faith. So there's no issue with that. Now, to my sister Cassandra, it's a very valid question you have about vaccination for all your kids and for yourself. And someone made the point that vaccination basically has been mandatory if you need to go to certain places. So if you need to go to certain places and the vaccination is mandatory, my question to you, if you want to go, would you take it? You don't have to answer that right now. So typically, what I'm saying here is that what is the best decision for our country? That should be the direction we need to go. This is what we need our leaders to do. Take what's the best decision for the country. Do we need to keep burying people in body bags and say, well, guess what? Well, you don't want to take the vaccination. Well, is there a policy we can take to separate those who want to exercise their freedom of choice? How do we have them coexist in our society? So these are some very important things. So, my brother, I want to say I love you as a Grenadian. I also want to say I love that you travel a lot. But there are a lot of others who has traveled to more than 49 countries that you have traveled. Now, as ambassador, okay, because I see you as an ambassador for the country. One of the things we want to do, we want to gravitate to the majority. But the way you express yourself sometimes, it can be a turnoff. Now, so again, I especially love your dancing last night. I get to love you more. I've got to listen to this guy.
Right.
And so you have some good points.
Yes.
But what we need to do is we need to embrace as much people as we can. And to my sister Cassandra, while you want to worry about the debt, I want to let you know that we as Grenadians, I will tell you that, my sister, there was a time in the 80s when most of the world had negative GDP. We had a very small country called Grenada, had a positive. Okay? So we are very smart, innovative, and creative, and I think the brother can do that.
Thank you,
Continue
Kwame.
asking your questions.
Yes.
So thanks a lot, Junior.
Appreciate
and Kim,
All right.
calm down. You're a good guy.
Kem will be Kem, man. Kem will be Kem. What are you talking about? Kem and change it for nothing. Kem.
Well, by
Like us.
you know Cam Jones.
Cassandra, go ahead.
Cassandra.
Cassandra, go ahead.
Well, for people who are referencing the issue of vaccination and saying that our kids have been vaccinated for decades going to school, Grenada has a vaccination act. I think it's 18 something. It's very ancient. And interestingly enough, for the individuals who are making reference to that act, there are clauses in that legislation that makes exemption for children who have whose families or guardians have religious beliefs or they have medical conditions and cannot be vaccinated. And I know there are many Grenadians who have attended public and private schools in Grenada as children and they weren't vaccinated. We have legislations and the legislations have exemptions in it for children. We don't have legislations, as far as I'm aware, for mandatory vaccination for adults. So this is going to be a very interesting discussion. I'm looking forward to seeing the discussion in our parliament as to how our government is going to handle this. Because again, our prime minister has not passed any legislation making vaccination mandatory. What he has done in essence is abrogated his constitutional responsibility to the private sector. So he's saying to them, you know what, you have a responsibility to protect your business, which of course they do. So do what you want. But all businesses, every single individual entity in Grenada is governed by the laws of Grenada. And again, I keep asking, where are the laws? If there are no laws, then what are they being guided by? And Ken mentioned it earlier. That's a question that has to be thrown to the union representatives to the senators who sit in the upper houses, and to representatives in the lower house. Whereas the law that makes vaccination mandatory, so technically what the private sector is doing is illegal, especially when it comes to existing workers. You can put in the clause now for work for new workers, but you cannot just include a clause in the middle of a contract when you have already employed the individual and say you have to take the vaccine or go home. And I think that is a coward way out for that the administration is doing. And we have continued to call on our elected officials to take a stand in the matter. So either you are for a mandatory vaccine, which they seemingly are, or you're not. But you can't stand in the middle and just give the private sector the opportunity to do what they want. So yes, there are exemptions, so they can pass legislations. But if you read our constitution properly, people who have religious beliefs and whatever beliefs as relates to what they put into their body, the legislation has to give account and make room for them. Just for people who don't know that.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're about that time, Kim. I know you're pressed because you have to go to your attend to your program at the top of the
Yeah,
hour.
but no. I could cancel the program for this program because it's nice. Because there are some of the folks following the program, they suffering from Kem Jones Tabanka. Right? A lot of these folks, because who say I block them and they can't get, so they get a little opportunity to see me on this live. They
Yeah.
suffering from Kem Jones Tabanka. Yeah, some of them folks are telling you. But let me say this, Junior, I would love for the same kind of energy to be from people who would call and say, well, they're against this, the mandatory this and the vaccine, to be directed towards Keith Mitchell and the NNP.
Right.
Because the private sector not doing this because they want to do it, you know. Really and truly, the Prime Minister of Barbados, for example, she came out very early
Yeah.
and she said, you're the employer, okay, but you will not force anybody or mandate anybody to be vaccinated. In fact, she's an advocate for the vaccine, but she will not encourage any employer to violate anybody's rights. I don't want anybody to hold on and force people, hold you down or force you to be vaccinated, put something in your body. That should be between you and your doctor. That's a personal choice. And I agree with Cassandra, it's a personal choice that one must make. And if you have children, it should be the guardian, the parents, making that choice. No politician should say, well, you need to take this vaccine and put it in your body. In fact, this vaccine really and truly, in my opinion, it has a lot of politics in it. Because you see how certain things, Junior, is happening up your side, where they giving authorization to this brand and that brand and the others not getting, and all kind of politics there. I am simply saying I am still pro-choice. I believe you need to determine what goes in your body. No one should force you. On another point, I want to repeat, if the union believes that the university has done them something wrong and the workers' rights have been violated, take the matter to court. Let's have a landmark decision. Let's have something come from the court, from Grenada, like other islands where people have decided to take the matter to court. Why try it in the public where that person would not even get the opportunity to come forward and defend himself, in fact? Because I don't expect Dickon to bow that low and come out here and, no, I don't expect that, right? But I am simply saying take the matter to court. And if people are saying, as a lawyer, this man should just say, well, SGU will have a position on the vaccine and so on for the workers and so on, and he should just give up that and go on the street with a pan and beg for money to survive. Well, then let's go to Peter David then. Let's go to the other lawyers who have served in government. I'm asking, are you saying to me that this man, and it's like people give the impression that the guy just became the lawyer of SGU. We should be proud that we have a young Grenadian who has been hired for a long time now by this institution to represent them, even if it's for an hour. We should be proud of that. I mean, yes, people have a right to ask questions and be concerned, but we have not even heard this guy's position. We have heard the university's position. Some people believe, well, if it's a university, well, then is he, and is he? He's not the university. What some of the other people who were in the room in that very said meeting, that engagement with the union? Huh? What some of the other lawyers from abroad that was a part of this whole thing? No. they decided to pick a fight with this young man because, well, his name was in the ring for leadership. Well, now he's the leader. So what would they do then? Would they say, well, they're going to stick him to this and everything else is okay? All of a sudden, the people who are against corruption, they are now for corruption and a corrupt regime. The people who are against high cost of living, they are now for that regime for high cost of living. The people who are against the high fuel prices, the high cost of food, the pension and gratuity, all of a sudden, they appear to be for that regime who is not giving them gratuity, not giving them pension. The people who are for decent paying jobs and cutting down victimization and abuse of power and so on, all of a sudden they're supporting that because they're of the view that this guy's a lawyer and he represents or he represented at the time with that particular matter, that engagement they had, the university, and they say, well, boy, I will hang him politically for that, and everything else is now right in the sights of these people. I am saying we don't have to agree on everything, but if something went wrong, you believe that your employer have done you something wrong, let's go to court. Let's take the matter to court. Don't try to crucify the man in public because he's a lawyer representing an institution like St. George's University. Come on, it's not that he just like you go and hire a person. Junior and Cassandra, I would understand if it was a situation where SG go and hire this man for the purpose of fighting the issue of vaccination. With the workers, I could understand that. Then you say, what is the man's position and the reason why he's a lawyer? He take up that matter because some lawyers will say, well, I'm not going to take this matter because it's against X, Y, and Z and the conscience or whatever. But I'm saying that is not a situation like that. It's a law firm they've hired to represent them as a university. So I don't think they need to go after the man for that. Let us listen to him because I'm certain you would have him on your program, on other programs, where we can hear from him, and we take it from there.
I want you guys to look forward a little bit to the next general election. What do you think would be the campaign? What do you think the campaign style would be like? Do you think there would be a referendum on, and that's for both you and Cassandra, do you think there would be a referendum on experience versus inexperience? Do you think that would be the main goal? Because in campaign, everybody get nasty and dirty and slingy, right?
Yeah, and I'm ready to go down in the mud too. So I would go down in the mud. I could tell you that.
Yeah, Cassandra, what do you think the next election would look like? What would be the referendum, you think?
To be honest, where I'm sitting, I really can't have a prediction. I think many are waiting to hear what young Mitchell's plans are. NDC does have a support base. That's something that we have to agree on. There are people who are standing in the middle and have decided that they will choose the lesser of the two evils. That's what they call it. So it will be a very interesting election. And I think it's one of the most important elections in our history. I mean, given that we are in a health pandemic and given the economic situation, the high unemployment and underemployment, a lot of us are now paying very close attention to who is vying for candidacy. But I want to just take a moment here to remind my fellow Grenadians that we aren't just voting for a leader of a political party. Let us start voting for representation. I can tell you as a citizen, well, as a resident of Grenada and a resident of St. David's, that for years St. David's have been neglected because we continue to elect individuals who, when they get into office, they just forget that St. David's exists, and there are a lot of needs that when you in your constituency that you have. That's what we have, a representative democracy, where the people that we elect and we vote for on elections day supposed to go into the parliament and argue for the needs of their constituents. So we're not just voting for the leader. And that's something that I really want to put out there because I want good representation for St. David's next election so that St. David's can benefit and that my vote really will count.
Right. And what about the other part? Kem, go ahead. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Kem.
but I would say in Grenada, people vote for a leader. And I agree with Cassandra, it should be more than that. But in Grenada, it's about the leader, and that is why the focus, the lens, is now on the both leaders. Well, in fact, they kind of putting it more on Dickon now and forgetting that Keith Mitchell exists. I always say to people, no one was born a prime minister. No one, like you just born and you become prime minister. It's not like where you have monarchs, like you have some king and the prince and that person is next in line, that kind of thing. So you can't say about experience when it comes to Prime Minister. Keith, we all know that Keith Mitchell has been there for donkey years, right? We all know that. But it can't be about experience versus youth or inexperience, because no one could tell you that you have two prime ministers competing. It's a different ball game in Grenada. We, as Cassandra rightly said, it's about policy. What is the direction? What he intends to do? What both parties intend to do? But we must also understand, we must look at the NNP and Keith Mitchell, because remember, they have been there. They were given a mandate, and they said they're going to do certain things to help our people. We must grade them and assess them, right? It's good to scrutinize Dickon and the NDC and their plans and the way forward. Nothing wrong with that. But remember, you gave these people 4 or 5 years to prove themselves. People went up to polls to look for oil and gas. Up to now, we can't get oil and gas. At least I have coconut oil in my cupboard. Somebody from Grenville sent down 2 bottles for me, and it's expensive to it. So we're still waiting for oil and gas. We can't get it. The man promised cheaper electricity cost. Now they get Grenlec government. We're paying one amount of money, a lot of money for electricity, water, roads bad, unemployment high, cost of living, everything high. In other words, we have to assess this individual, Keith Mitchell and the NNP. We must make that, but the election, in my view, will be very competitive. I'm not taking that away. Remember, you're coming up against Keith Mitchell, party with money and X, Y, and Z. Dickon Mitchell, we can't say that he will have equal the amount, but definitely he will have the resources to make a good fight with the NDC, which is great, right? And that is what people want. We want our democracy to be healthy, where you have 2 strong parties, and you take it from there. And I believe that Dickon Mitchell will be the next prime minister of this country, and the NDC will win the elections, because there are the candidates, we have not even seen the candidates, all the candidates yet. What you saw was just the executive of the NDC coming together, being elected, and people are excited. People are talking. People are the thing nice. The things start to get spicy already. Much less when the candidates are announced. And I could tell you, you would have candidates that you never thought. I mean, decent Grenadians, business people, retired public office. I mean, real decent people, young people who could actually contribute and develop this country. People are serious about changing this country, though. People are serious about getting rid of Keith Mitchell and the NNP and moving to the next level. And they're coming forward. I am excited. I wish the election was next week.
When I look at Dickon and his policy, and I mean his experience, and when I look at the election coming up, I go back to Barack Obama. They were accusing Barack Obama of being inexperienced in foreign policy and being young. So what he did, he propped that up with Joe Biden as his VP, right? And I think that was saying he understood that he needed that prop, he needed that endorsement. And Joe Biden came in as the high in foreign policy. Joe Biden came in as the elder statesman that everyone knew, and that combination was successful in the election. So that is why I asked the question about the referendum going into the next election, and if it would be based on his age, and we have Keith Mitchell being the one of the oldest. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is the oldest prime minister in the region. Is it factual?
I don't know, but he will be competing up there. But I think it might be correct to say that he's the oldest minister of youth in the whole world. Okay, right? It might be correct to say that.
Right.
I don't know Keith Rowley. I don't know where in terms of age, and Ralph Gonzalez might be kind of close, you know.
Okay. So
somewhat close,
right?
But it might be correct to say that he might be the oldest minister of youth in the whole wide world, and maybe even in Mars, right? But that's the reality. He'll be 75 years on the 12th of November. I'll be singing happy birthday to him, but I hope that he decided to pack his bag and go. You know.
Right.
Junior, if I may, I'm sitting and I'm listening.
Excuse at this point, Junior, Cassandra, can I beg to be excused. I mean,
No
sorry, but
problem.
because I was 15 minutes before my program.
Yeah. Absolutely. Kem, just wrap up real quick. And also we could bounce. Kem,
Yes,
yeah.
I want to.
To
Yes,
end,
Junior,
end,
I want to thank you. Thank you very much for allowing me to come on your platform. I mean, people know me. I'm a firebrand. I'm controversial. What you see is what you get. So if there are people who are surprised at me, they don't know me. Um, Look, there are some people who are suffering from Kem Jones Tabanka. You know my number. You could call me, and I could, have the antidote for that. But generally speaking, it's always a pleasure to be on this program, so we can chit chat. Cassandra and I, we're gonna be good friends until Thy kingdom come. We could disagree. We could agree on certain things. Nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, she's a decent person. I believe in her. I believe she loves Grenada as much as I do, and Junior and so on. And she wants the best for her family and other families in this country. I've seen her work on many, many different projects and programs and so on. She wants good for Grenada. She wants good for Grenada, and I believe in her. And look, I want Dickon Mitchell. I want to make it clear. I want to see this young man emerge as the Prime Minister and his team. I believe the NDC is the best choice. And look, NDC don't agree with me on everything. Huh? Don't get that thing wrong. I'm certain that Deacon and other people, they don't agree with me on every single thing. But there are certain
right.
things that we're going to agree on. Right? And that is why Kem Jones remains independent. When I speak from an independent platform. And what you see is what you get. Even if next month, next year, once I'm on a program like this, you will get the same kind of thing. So my partner Peter Mitchell, I feel like I want to block you tonight, man. I'll give you a chance to come on my program and run your mouth. Nothing wrong with that.
I
Anyways, take good care. It's a
Kem,
love.
we'll keep in touch. You know you go right.
But no.
Yeah. Big up. Yeah. Cassandra, go right ahead.
Yes, when Kim was speaking about the elections and a lot of the things that's happening around elections, it is important to note, and I think I heard Mr. Ruggles Ferguson when he was at one of your programs mention this. The Representation of the People's Act, which speaks about the management and the governance around elections, talk about treating. And do you know that it is illegal according to that legislation to give the voter a, well, I don't want to call it bribe, because in a court of law, you have to interpret whether or not the candidate intended to bribe the person for a vote. But you can't be treating the individual. And maybe that's a conversation you can bring Ruggles on to have again. So if we take that into consideration, then our elections will solely be focused on issues, discussing issues, and not handing out items for votes. And that's something I know that I will be raising in the public in the upcoming weeks and months ahead. I didn't write the legislation, so I'm just reading it and bringing awareness that you're not supposed to be using items, whether it's a jersey, drinks, or whatever,
Mhm.
in an attempt to get a vote from someone.
Right. Point taken there. Guys, listen, I think it was a good opportunity to have this conversation. I firmly believe democracy is about challenging power and asking questions, right? And whether they like it or not, I mean, those questions deserve to be asked. And I that's why I think by having you and Kim on, we get a better idea as who the person is. Because I'm telling you the truth, from where I sit, I knew nothing about Dickon Mitchell. So it's legitimate that I asked the question, who is Dickon Mitchell? I saw Dickon Mitchell on Kem Jones' program. Kem Jones introduced him to the world. And I went and I did some further research. I found out he was an attorney, and I found out a little more stuff about him. But prior to that, I knew nothing about him. But he's in a position quite possibly to be the next prime minister of Grenada. He's leading one of the top political parties here in Grenada. So he's legitimate, and I think that's what democracy is. Now, when he can come on the program, we're gonna chat with him. We're gonna find out all about him. But it's not inappropriate to have a conversation to ask these questions and to get field questions from our viewers prior to that. I don't see nothing wrong with that either. But that's what Ride Along is all about. Every one of us story to tell. And Cassandra, I thank you for taking the time to come and chat with us. Kem Jones, you know you go. And all the viewers, everyone who share, everyone who participate. Cassandra, any last words before we wrap up?
No, just thank you for the opportunity, and just to emphasize, I have nothing personal against young Mitchell. I'm looking forward to hearing about his plans and policies now that he's leader of the NDC. I want to congratulate again the other young people who have been elected to the executive, and I look forward to hearing great things coming from the party. And I will not apologize for criticizing any one of them, be the NDC or the NMP. But I would like to publicly say thank you to the NDC executive past, the NDC candidates who I've had encounters with. Thank you for tolerating me. Thank you for answering my questions. And to those on the NMP side as well, thank you so very much. I have had the opportunity to pose questions to both sides, and I really do appreciate that they take the time to answer. Many times it's not the answer that you want to hear, but they usually do take the time to try to answer. So thank you again.
Thank you so much, Cassandra, Michelle, Kim Jones, and everyone who participated. Now, a lot of people are asking, a lot of people are saying that look, what about TGM? What about all these other organizations? Are we forgetting? You know, and find out so much more about TGM. I'm sure TGM will have something to say, and the platform is open at any point in time for the NNP, the NDC, the GOLP, the TGM. They know it's an open door policy here on Ridealong, and we're looking to have them come on the program to give us their reaction, well, give us their point of view and what they stand for going into general election, because they now are a political organization. I want to hear from the TGM as well, probably soon. All right. Also, guys, I must say that the request again. I reiterate on what I said earlier. We are not confirming Dickon Mitchell to be on the program on Wednesday. I spoke to the newly elected PRO earlier today. And he did reassure me that they have some wrongs that they're doing. By Wednesday they should clear it up, and then he will get back to us on if or when, not if, but when Dickon Mitchell will be available. But that would be after Wednesday or a little bit after that. Of course, we're not going to have him on Friday, so it's either going to be Wednesday or Thursday or probably next week. All right. Okay. All right. Yes.
When I woke up this morning,
Yes. So you guys have to. Don't forget that if you're watching us on Facebook, you could also subscribe to us on YouTube. We invite everyone to go over there and click that link and subscribe and click that bell as well. So when we go live on YouTube, you're going to get the notification. All right. Okay. All right. That's how we usually go off. If it's the first time here, that's how we go off. That's how we go off with the program. That's the song. You are blessed. You are blessed. There we go. Let's take it from the top again. Yes. All you sing it with me. Yeah, sing it with me. Anne Marie, how you doing?
I feel like beat my chest.
I'm blessed.
I feel like beat my chest. I feel like beat my chest. I'm blessed. I feel like beat my chest. I feel like beat my chest. I feel like beat my chest. Yo.
Also, guys, don't forget that if you're looking for a rapid COVID test for work or
When I woke up this morning,
travel, you could get your COVID-19 PCR test done in half an hour. Yeah, COVID-19 PCR test done in half an hour. They also come to you. So if you're on a time crunch, they'll take care of you. Call them right now. It's All Pro Health Labs. 516-387-4246.
See ya come now. He is my provider. My back. The most I have my back.
Also, guys, if you're in Grenada and you're looking for laboratory service, diabetes, foot care,
I have my back.
COVID-19 testing, chronic disease management, health, home health nursing, IV therapy, private nurse escort, wound care, post-hospitalization care, nebulizer treatment, after surgery care, and physician consulting, you gotta call Care Transition Clinic. Yeah, that's Care Transition Clinic. You can call him right now. The number is 473-535-0307. That's Care Transition Inc. Care Transition Clinic. Alright, check them out.
When I woke up this morning,
check them out.
I know that
again, the number is 473-535
let your praises come out.
0307.
See ya banga.
Also, guys, we just started our news segment program. You can check it out. It's gonna be posted on the page. Click it, share it, like it, support it. And also, I can't forget, if you like the program and you want to see us continue, you could become a supporter. All right. It's only $4.99. Click that link right there and become a supporter of Ride Along. It goes a long way. All right, thank you so much, all our supporters thus far. We appreciate you guys. It's a monthly subscription to become a supporter, but it goes a long way in ensuring that we continue to bring programs like this every single day. So continue, and if you have not yet done it, click the link and you learn more about how you can become a supporter. You get a little badge as well. That little badge. So the people that has that badge, they are a paying supporter of this program, and we appreciate them oh so much.
So when I woke up this morning, I had reasons to sing. When I woke up this morning, I have reasons to shout. I know that Father God bless me, and that's without a doubt. So if you know that Father God bless you.
All right, let me go.
Sing, whoa, see a banga, see a banga. Give thanks to the Father. Everybody, whoa, yeah, see a banga, see a banga. He is my provider. My back, my back, my back. The most I have my back, my back, my back. The big man have my back, my back, my back. The most I have my back, back. That's why I feel I beat my chest. I feel I beat my chest. I feel I beat my chest. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I feel I beat my chest. I feel I beat my chest. I feel I beat my chest. Yo.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Click that link and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Give thanks to the Father.
Yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube, guys.
Oh, yeah. See a banga. See a banga. He is my provider.
Click that link and subscribe to us on YouTube, alright?
I feel I beat my chest. I feel I beat my chest. I feel I beat my chest. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I feel I beat my chest. I feel I beat my chest. I feel I beat my chest. Yo. When I woke up this morning, I had reasons to sing. When I woke up this morning, I had reasons to shout. That Father God bless me, and that's without a doubt. Say if you know that Father God bless you, I have to jump up and shout. Sing, whoa, see a banga, see a banga. Give thanks to the Father. Everybody, whoa, yeah, see a banga, see a banga. He is my provider. My back, my back, my back. The most I have my back, my back, my back. The big man have my back, my back, my back. The most I have my back, back. Man, I feel so blessed. Man, I feel like beating my chest. I feel like I feel so free. Man, nobody happy like me. I feel like He provides my wants, He provides my needs. Each and every day, I get on my knees. He provides my wants, He provides my needs. Each and every day. So when I woke up this morning, I had reasons to sing. When I woke up this morning, I had reasons to shout. I know that Father God bless me, and that's without a doubt. Say if you know that Father God bless you, let your praises come out. Sing, whoa, see a banga, see a banga. Give thanks to the Father. Everybody, whoa, yeah, see a banga, see a.
David Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-38